Here we go, baby. It's strictly ball business, and we're back for episode 64.
63?
God damn it,
64. It's 64.
Oh, I got it right, you sons of bitches. They thought I was out. They wrote me off. I ain't right back, though. Today, we are back. We were off for a couple weeks. I'll lower down the energy for you. Now we are in podcast mode, everybody. We're finally back, episode 64. We're going to talk about a couple of our favorite teams, the Timberwolves and the Magic today. And we will also talk about some of our favorite teams outside of our fandom, as there are the top three young core that we want to rank today and talk to you about just really what makes them such strong teams. And from there, we're also going to play a game where we guess a player that has been on at least three different teams. So we're going to, just let each other know the teams they played on and try to guess from there, I think is how it's going to go. Right, Dalton?
Yep. We each, you get three teams and you say them, and then they get three guesses.
Yeah.
That's it.
3 on 3, baby. The best.
3 by 3.
And then we're also going to talk about the best team in the West, the Denver Nuggets. We're going to talk about what is going so well for them and what they can maybe even improve still at this point. And I think that's all we got at that point. So, we're going to have some in-depth conversations about a lot of these teams.
This has been Strictly Ball Business.
Strictly ball business.
Strictly ball business.
I like that video.
Shit. But to start out, I'd like to talk about your top three young core. Should we spend, what do you think? The whole video talking about all 6 possible teams, or we might have the same list. Who knows?
Yeah, I definitely think we might have 2 overlapping. I think there's and now that it's 25 and under, a lot of teams are moved on, like the Celtics. Jaylen Brown's not 25 anymore. Like, they're not considered young, as Celtics have been our young core for how long now, but now they just don't.
They're established now.
Yeah, they're established. I'll start with my third team. It's the Magic. I love the Magic. I think so, because they wouldn't be on this list if it wasn't for Paolo, obviously he's the clear number one, but you got guys like Michael Carter Jr. and Franz Wagner, who have just came out as these guys are definitely going to be 20-point per game scorers or fringe all-stars for the rest of their career. I think they're all great. They got Fultz, who's awesome. Bul's the unicorn. We got Suggs, we got Anthony. I didn't include Bamba because I don't think he's going to be that great, but they have all those young guys, and that's we're to the point where I'm watching this next draft. I'm honestly, fight for a play-in. I want to see how we we have the young core. Bringing in another guy would just mix things up, and we also have Jonathan Isaac coming back, maybe coming back. So I just think they have so much good quality young core players that have so much potential. That's what puts them into 3. I think they have the most potential.
Yeah, they certainly have a lot of potential, and could certainly see them making some damage in the playoffs and the league as a whole, maybe in 2 years, maybe even next year. But I just haven't seen enough from them at this point to call them a top 3 young core. There's other great young cores that have just been doing more at this point, but that's just because they have older young players still. Yeah, they're young, but Paolo is a rookie, and who knows what he'll look like in the next couple of years, because he already looks fantastic.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt Paolo's going to be a superstar. It's, we just haven't seen to the level of I know Franz Wagner's definitely, he's going to be a star. I think he's going to be more than a fringe all-star. Carter Jr. and Fultz, I think those two, I don't think we've seen this much young core with guys like that. Oh, and Bol. Those are all guys I can see scoring 17, 15, 16 plus in this league. So I can't think back to a time, maybe the Lakers young core when they had Lonzo, Kuzma, BI, but this young and clear superstar with guys that are already going to come out and of their own that they've draft except for Bol. They didn't draft Bol, but that they have that I can turn into those type players.
Yeah, I definitely think having a rebuilding team like this gives you an opportunity to give guys like Bol, more of a long leash and see what he's got. And boy, does he have something. I think certainly he could build with this team. And they have a lot of size overall. I mean, I think eventually they might have to cut down the trees a little bit. But for now, you got a lot of athletic wings. We'll see how far that takes you. We'll at least go through this season and see which ones you really like. I don't really understand if Mo Bamba has a spot on this team long term, but certainly excited about these other young guys that they've started to bring in, like Franz, especially.
Yeah, definitely. But who did you have at three?
My number 3 spot, I'm glad you asked. I had the New Orleans Pelicans. We're at the number 3 spot in the conference right now. Zion is only 22 years old. Ingram is 25, so right on the cusp there, but still a young buck. Mm-hmm. Herb Jones, 24. They've got Jose Alvarado's in his second year. Just a lot of solid role players here, which you need for either, like a championship, or if you're going to trade them down the road for another star-like player. Either way, having those types of assets and being able to draft consistently like that is going to pay off.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, they certainly obviously have 2 superstars, which is crazy to see. I do think they do have as young cores go, they have great. Like, I just think like Trey Murphy, you love him. He's great. He's just like more of a he's gonna be has a select role, but Zion,
sure.
Yeah, Zion definitely superstar. I think he's gonna be a top 5 player in this league at some point. I think Bi has peaked. We've seen where he's going to be, and that's great. That's an all-star. I think he can be a number 2 on a championship team, and I think Zion can be a number 1. Clearly, they just need to build a team around that, and I think they're pretty set. They have the hardest part of a rebuild, which is getting your first and second guys. Just get to the playoffs
team.
And do it.
Yeah, they have a great team now. So I think that's only going to help the rebuild out. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think this Pelicans team has those stars, like you said, it's the hardest part to find. And they're still so young. Eventually, when these old guys get out of the league, we're just going to gravitate more to this Pelicans team as they continue to pile on winning seasons. And, I love their personalities here. I think like this is a very likable team. They have a young coach too. I mean, a former player who was really not like a star himself. I think he gets a easy time probably connecting to everybody on the bench that way.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's always those role players that come out to be the best type of coaches. So yeah, Willie Green, he's doing a great job. I mean, he could jump into the running for Coach of the Year already. I mean, this guy's doing pretty well too.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think. I think it's between him and Joe Mazzulla and Mike Malone. Maybe maybe give Taylor Jenkins some consideration too.
Yeah, always Taylor Jenkins and JB Bickerstaff too. He's doing a great job. We'll see. Clearly, we're halfway through the season, so we'll see as it gets in more. But how about 2? Who'd you have for 2? Let's hear your second.
My number 2 was the Memphis Grizzlies.
Same here.
Yeah, is that who you had number 2? Yeah. I mean, obviously, a very young team. John Morant is 23. Jaren Jackson is a great player, too. Obviously, Desmond Bane is looking like a potential star in the making. Maybe he can get to that Brandon Ingram level. I'd like to see that, but who knows? And then outside of that, they've got some solid role players. Brandon Clark's a good player. Although I think he might be past the young buck age.
Nope, he's he's not. Brandon Clark is not. That's right.
Yeah. I feel like they got one. Who's the one?
Yeah. All they had was so all they have for young guys. It's Morant, Bane, Jaren Jackson, and Zaire Williams.
Oh, Zaire Williams. Yeah, I mean he's another guy with some potential, but definitely John Morant's carrying this team, so he's kind of a superstar right now over there.
Oh yeah, and I mean I think the improvement we wanted to see out of Bane this year wasn't made by Bane necessarily, but Jaren Jackson, he's had a huge year. He's looking like could be a defensive player of the year candidate. I mean, they're third best defense in the league, and I think he's the biggest part of that. He's the best defensive player on the floor, along with Zaire Williams. So, who's good? Obviously, Steven Adams is a great vet to have around these guys, and you can see the impact he's made.
For a vet, I mean, he still isn't even 30 yet, so still a young guy himself.
Yeah, 29. Yeah, it's crazy, and it's kind of crazy that they passed up Pat Bev because he would have been perfect for these young guys. Imagine his effect on what these guys would have been.
Yeah, I mean, when they made that trade, I guess they hadn't had a winning season yet. So they made the trade for Jarrett Culver thinking, okay, we're not giving up anything that we already had on our team. We're just flipping Beverly, who we just got in a different trade. And, we're going to get Jarrett Culver out of it, who we think has still some potential to be a, top 5 pick talent, which they clearly just didn't watch enough Timberwolves games is what I'm thinking. And, I mean, Pat Bev would have made a lot of sense on this team as they're, they could use that type of veteran voice. Not necessarily that they need it, but always helps. And a good backup point guard definitely helps too. He's cheaper than Tyus, who is a fine player, but I mean, if you're going to have Ja injured every now and then too, I mean, you got to have multiple serviceable guys.
Yeah, I mean, the Timberwolves figured it out, and they were already set with their guards when they made the trade for him, so wouldn't have been that big. But so first, I'm super curious who you had as your first.
My first, I have the Cleveland Cavaliers.
All right, yeah, we're on the same page. Got it. Yeah, we're both right. How do you say no though? After what just happened, what Don did.
Yeah, and he's, technically out of our young core range here. He's at 26, but obviously he's still very young at that age. It dropped 71.
Yeah.
He's somehow the veteran on this team. Darius Garland is a fantastic player coming into his own each year. He's just so confident. And Evan Mobley, who hit a game-winning shot the other day off of a Donovan Mitchell pass, and he really is good in the mid-range game. So,
yeah,
I really like what I'm seeing.
Exactly. Allen's great. Garland, Mobley, who I think Mobley's the potential is just out of the ceiling for this guy. This guy's he could be better than Gobert, better than Gobert defensively, but so much better offensively. This guy I think he can be a third scoring option while being the best defensive player of the year, much like Dwight Howard was for the Magic.
See if it happens. I mean, I think he definitely has the talent. I think it's hard to keep it up on both sides consistently, but
that's what she said.
His type of shot, like it looks good for a big man, and I think like that's gonna in the end pay off offensively enough where he can be efficient and he doesn't need to put up an insane amount of shots to be effective.
Yeah, no, exactly. And Isaac Okoro's starting to turn it around this year. I mean, he's hit a 3, but defensively he's much needed. And Karis LeVert's also a really young guy. He's outside of the range too, but he's a big part of this team and coming off the bench or kind of filling in where needed when Darius Garland misses a lot of time, so Karis gets put in a lot. So it's nice. All in all, they have like a highest level of talent there. It's great.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think it's exciting to see a team succeed post LeBron. So it's not very common because they usually get eviscerated when he leaves.
Yeah, they all great trades. I mean,
quick.
Yeah, all great trades. Like, I mean, they drafted Mobley, but Mitchell they got in a trade. Darius Garland, it was the Lakers pick, and then obviously Jared Allen. And they drafted Isaac Okoro, but they did not draft Karis LeVert, obviously. So they traded for a lot of them too, and they just made great moves, and somehow retained Kevin Love too.
Well, and they got Donovan Mitchell at a more than reasonable package than what the Wolves gave up, for example, for Gobert. But because they had Colin Sexton, who they drafted, and they were able to include him in trade. If they didn't include him, they would have had to give up more picks for sure.
For sure. But that was our top 3 young core. Who are your guys' top 3 young core? Comment that below. Let us know. All right, this is a topic I want to talk about. We're talking about the Orlando Magic and the great run they've had the last 13 games. So since December 7th, they're 9-4. Doesn't sound that impressive. It's the 5th best record since that date. So technically, they're the 5th best team. No, but they've been doing great. They've really caught fire, and there's not like a single thing that they're doing better where they're like, oh, this guy's on, so their playmaking or defense or offense is changing. They've just kind of gotten better all around the board. I mean, they and it's even impressive because they missed Wendell Carter Jr. and Suggs throughout this. So I mean, hold on, so they went from like their field goal percentage increased from like a bunch to a lot to a little, but 3-point went up, rebounds, turnovers. I mean, they're still in this run. They've been the 14th best offense and the 11th best defense, so they're just kind of in the middle. I think that's a great starting point for where they are. If this is how they can play, if they can work out a whole season in this way, it's great. I mean, it's happened since Fultz got back. A lot of players came back from injury. Cole Anthony did too. So they've just been kind of rolling now. Mo Wagner was in the starting lineup for a while just because they didn't want to move Bamba up, and they didn't want to disturb the rotations with Wendell Carter Jr. being out. So it's just impressive, and they had an impressive win last night over OKC. I like seeing it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely excited to see where this team goes. I mean, I don't know if they're going to cause any real damage in the playoffs once they go up against teams with experience like the Nets, Bucks, and Celtics, but anything can happen. Donovan Mitchell has experience himself in the playoffs, so
yeah, I mean,
it's working out.
I don't see them making any noise in the playoffs. I think if they, much like the Timberwolves had last year, if we can win a play-in game or even play a play-in game right now, I'd be happy. Because it's just young core. It's just the young core we have that is just by far improving. Maybe this offseason we can get in a few, trim some fat with some of this young talent, go out, trade for some veterans, sign a couple veterans, a little better veterans than Terrence Ross, of course. And I think I just think it's great to see this development. This is the steps. That's the next step of first you draft, you go out and get your young talent, you develop them. This is the development process. It's nice to see the development directly affect the winning, and that's always a good sign to see out of a franchise.
Yeah, no doubt. I think they're going in the right direction. So
definitely,
I think they've been making some good picks lately, which you couldn't really say that for a lot of years.
Yeah, and I mean, we haven't even seen a fully developed Bol or fully developed. I think Jalen Suggs still has a lot way to come. I think Fultz is kind of where he's going to be. Maybe get a little better. I can see him averaging like a 15 and 9 and 15-9 or 15-8, something like that, 8 assists, maybe close to 2 steals. That's the type of player he's going to be. Much like kind of like Jalen Suggs, just a little better on defense. I'm not Suggs, Brunson, just a little better on defense. Yep. But Wagner, I think he more and more he's impressing me. Wendell Carter Jr. is having a more down year than I thought, but he's doing well. And obviously, Paolo's just outrageous. This guy's a superstar already. So impressive to see. So refreshing to see. Much like when you saw the growth of Anthony Edwards, that's how I'm feeling with Paolo Banchero.
I mean, Orlando really hasn't had that type of player since Dwight Howard.
No, yeah. And even then, even peak Dwight Howard would not, I don't think he would be a superstar today. He would be very much in the same vein as a Gobert or like a Jared Allen, where he's just hyper good at that. And because athleticism doesn't get you much places anyway. And Shaq, obviously Shaq was just dominant, but we haven't had a superstar like this versatile or anything. Like, they were just really good at one thing. Granted, Hall of Fame players. Well, I think so.
Over here say he's gonna be better than Shaq. He's gonna be better than Giannis.
I don't know about Giannis or Shaq. I do think he can be better than Dwight Howard. I don't think that's a huge leap to say. But I think I'm just excited. He's gonna be great.
Yeah. No. You have reason to be excited. I mean, he has been a player people have talked about for a long time. People have been waiting for him to finally get to the league, and here he is, worth all the hype. He's actually good. He's actually worth the hype. Crazy.
Yeah, hell yeah. But what do you guys think of this run? This run has been great. I love seeing it. I'm watching them tonight. Let's go. We're gonna make that 10-4. Let's go, baby. Because we're gonna pretend the season started not at the beginning of December, because we had like 3 losses in a row, but December 7th. That's when it's gonna start. comment something below. Let me know. All right, so let's move to your team. The Wolves. Cat's been out. I want to talk about, since he's been out, how our players doing. What's the record like? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, they were on a 6-game losing streak for a good sec there, and they just got out of that with a 2-game winning streak. And so it's looking like, things are a little up and down. That's kind of how it's been all season. And one of the games that they won one of the games that they won after this losing streak, and it was without Cat, but it was also without D'Lo. And that caused some stir because it was the game apparently right after they lost to the Detroit Pistons, and there was a players-only meeting after that. And rumor has it people laid into D'Lo, and so he was sick the next game. So there's question, you just need a mental day off. Mental health 2022, 2023 now, actually. Mental health is great. It's great. Doesn't make up for being afraid. When you're making millions of dollars and you can't handle criticism from your teammates. But anyways, I think they looked really solid the last couple games. 2 great wins, one against the Blazers, another against the Nuggets, the number 1 team in the West, obviously. And really the focal points of those wins were great defense from Rudy Gobert, some big time blocks, and Anthony Edwards being an absolute superstar, really just consistently putting up 25 to 30 points a game and being that guy, even if he's not getting it from the field, he's getting it from the free throw line, believe it or not.
Oh yeah, I got a cool stat about this free throw. Yeah, it's I didn't know about all that D'Lo stuff. I did know he unfollowed the Timberwolves on a lot of social media or something.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Whatever. So the Wolves, they're 5th in pace. I want to talk. So let's talk about something. Do they need to be 5th in pace? So they're 8-11 in the last since Cat went down. They're 15th in that time. They're 15th in offense, 20th in defense. Nothing impressive there. We got to see something. I'm not expecting them to be better without Cat. Clearly, Cat's going to make your offense better when he comes back. But I want to see some foundation and things. So they're 5th in pace, which is super weird to think when you got a guy like Gobert, right? Naturally, you're going to think it's going to slow down and stuff. But do they need to be? They're also 27th in turnovers. One of those messiest teams in the league. Maybe you could cut the pace down a little bit. They don't even where is their points off turnovers? They're not even insanely good at points off turnovers. Oh yeah. They 8th in points off turnovers. So is their pace helping? How much can you drop? I certainly think that there's ways to get around that where it'll be better. But Ant, like you said, leads the team in points off turnovers, 3.1. A crazy thing about his free throw is, so we're halfway through the season and he was already at 100 fouls drawn. In the last prior years, he finished the season with 127, 138. So he's on pace to almost getting close to doubling fouls drawn this year. This guy's we complained at the beginning of the season he wasn't getting to the basket as much. Now he's just doing it all. Now he's just fuck it, I'll get in there, and they're just fouling him, and it's working great for him.
Yeah, it's definitely the way he should play, aggressive and go hard at the rim. He's still taking dumb threes, some real bad shots here or there. But, I guess that's the Ant way. Sometimes late in the fourth, like this last game, he was hitting those bad shots. And so then they, suddenly they're good shots. So I don't know what to think sometimes. Sometimes you just got to let him do what he wants,
Yeah, I do think he's the guy you got to make happy. And sure, and I know he likes to play at a faster pace, but I think Chris Finch is a smart coach. I think that if they slow down, there's a lot to benefit from him. Just being slow in pace isn't a bad thing. The bottom 5 teams in pace are the Mavs, the Cavaliers, the 76ers, the Suns. None of those are bad teams by far. Pace certainly has its advantages in certain ways. Obviously, everyone attributes it to good basketball because of the Warriors, because they're always one of the highest paced teams in the NBA. But But I think they can figure it out. I think that's not because Chris Finch is watching this, and I just want him to know, hey man, slow the pace down a little bit. Maybe we're 5th in pace. Maybe bring it to like 10th. We'll see how the turnovers get those turnovers up. But wow, while I was stat diving, and speaking of D'Lo, I'm like, you know what, like I've noticed he's on my fantasy team. I've noticed he's doing better. I'm like, I wonder what's his comparison when he played with Cat and when he didn't play with Cat this year. So this year with Cat, he averaged 14.4 points per game, 6.6 assists on 43, 32, 78. 43, fine for a guard, whatever. 32 is pretty bad for a guard. 3-point percentage, obviously 78 is fine. But without Cat, he's scoring 19.9 points per game, 6.3 assists, and 48, 37, 89. Significantly better efficiency and obviously a higher volume on scoring. Still, either one is a negative on defense. Both of them are really bad. He's back to being one of the worst defensive players in the league. But it's just kind of kind of funny.
His numbers look better, and he has shot better overall. But he's still not making a lot of threes. Every other game, he'll have a game where he's like 1 of 7 or 1 of 6 from 3, and that hurts them for that game. It's like, yeah, maybe the next game he'll have a 3 of 5 game, and that's great, or it's good, whatever. But he'll also have those really terrible games that gets mixed in, and he's still not passing great. What this team really needs is a pass first player because they don't have many of those, period. I think I don't know who's out there that could really instill the offense better, but it's not D'Lo because he's just kind of worried about himself or being a scoring first point guard rather than trying to open up others. I mean, the game he didn't play in like the first 6 minutes, everybody besides Ant had at least 2 baskets made. I mean,
okay. Yeah, I mean, obviously it comes down to the coaching staff. They got to figure out what to do. Like I do think the front office for the most part they've done a good job. They're like, hey, we have all these like all-star pieces. Yeah. Do something. So it's coaching, and granted, it's not an easy task to fit all these guys together. D'Lo, Cat, Ant, and Gobert, all with significantly different styles of play. So it'll be tough for Chris Finch. I think he'll turn it. I think they'll figure it out and turn it around. Sucks that Cat's not there while they're trying to figure out, obviously, because he's the second best player on this team.
yeah, I mean, a lot of nights he can be the best one too. So
yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. But like that's your major offense, so it's kind of tough to get your feet out from under you. They're still trying to figure it out, and then his injury went down. So tough.
One guy who did exude some scoring ability last game, stepped in place for Cat like a star would, was Luka Magic Garza. He didn't miss a single shot from what I recall. And he was getting some tough rebounds. He hit a 3. It was wet, baby. So loved what I saw from him.
Yeah, I mean, if he can grab rebounds, that's I think their worst statistic because they're 27th in rebound percentage. They're one of the worst teams.
Give up so many offensive rebounds.
Yeah. Oh, and it's crazy because they got Gobert. A huge part of Gobert was his rebounding, and
he's the only one who can rebound though. Nobody else can.
Well, you have him and a guy like Cat. You're like, oh, we're going to be good on rebounds now, and you're not. Like, how are you worse? Exactly. But that's the worst part. Like, Cat's a center. We got 2 centers in there. At the very least, we'll be good at rebounding, but they're not. That's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if they somehow had kept Vanderbilt, maybe that'd be helping. But that's revisionist history. I think
they're shopping.
Gobert needs to consistently have like 12 rebounds a game. And some games he's ending up with like 4 and like 6.
Yeah.
And it's he's having great defense, and there's not like some nights he'll end up with like not a lot of rebounds, and it's because I don't know, they just didn't go after him or something. But I don't know, it's weird. You think he'd end up with at least 12 a game. Some nights he's not getting to where he should be at.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is because of pace too, and that's they want to keep up this pace, and like if you're kicking everyone out and saying go run, nobody's back to get defensive rebounds, and if you're already already known for being the worst offensive rebounding team in the league, maybe just like stop, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't. They're not very reflective on themselves. It's kind of like they've been doing the same thing all year. They've done marginal improvements here or there, where you're like, "Oh, okay, this looks like a sensible offense." But there's still moments where they're giving up like 4 offensive rebounds on a possession, and you're just like, "What is going on?" And like Gobert's out there for those, and it's like, dude, how are you not winning at some point here? Come on,
Come on, man.
just bulldoze through these guys. What are you doing? Work hard.
Work harder. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I still have confidence in this team. They're only a couple games under 500. They're not the only team that has struggled a little bit out of the gates, but I think they can still make the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, I don't know about. I think they'll be in the play-in again, especially at this rate. But what do you guys think? Where do you think? What seed will the Timberwolves land on this year? Comment that below. Let us know. Let's talk about the Nuggets. I mean, the Nuggets have been great. They've been wonderful. I didn't think they were going to be this good. I thought they had a lot of injury stuff to figure out. They figured it out already this season. So, what do you think about all that stuff? That's crazy. I know you already think they're a contender.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're a contender. I mean, I said before the season, so did you. I think we both predicted them at the top of the conference, and look at here. You know, we're Nostradamuses, me and you, Nostradamus, whatever.
Nostradamus.
They're so efficient, man, and that's obviously huge testament to Jokic, huge testament to their coaching, and really the makeup that they have on their team overall. But it all hovers around Nikola Jokic, who might win his 3rd MVP in a row. He's shooting an incredible 66% on 35% from 3 as well, 81 from the free throw line, and he's doing all that while almost averaging a triple-double with 26 points or 25.6 points per game.
Crazy.
Insane.
This guy, this Jokic guy over here, he's doing it all. Yeah, I mean, second best offense, first best in 3-point shooting, second best in field goal percentage, 6th in rebounding percentage, which I'll get to. That's a very important stat. 25th in defense, though. So my only thing I'm worried about is their defense. I'll get to that. I'll touch on that last. But MPJ and Murray, they hit their stride a lot faster. I thought it was going to be a little slow for both of them. Actually, more so on Michael Porter Jr., you know, has less time in the league and just had a back injury. But they're both there now. Jamal Murray was a slower start. They got there. Aaron Gordon's having his best statistical year ever in his career. I mean, this guy's doing great. 17 points per game. I think he's the 4th scorer on this team, and he's averaging 17. It's crazy.
I mean, Aaron Gordon has stepped up huge. He does a lot of the dirty work. Like, he's really their best defensive player, really keeping them in games a lot of the times in that case. But, you know, they really don't have a lot of defenders overall that can really make me feel comfortable with them going deep into a playoff run, because like you got to be able to stay in front of your guy, and especially Jokic. He worries me a little bit going up against some other big men.
Oh yeah, exactly. And if you're having him run all the offense, the guy's going to be tired. It's just human logic and stuff. But I think the best addition so far this offseason, one of the best additions I'll say, this that was made this offseason is KCP. I thought he's been perfect, just a Swiss Army knife for this lineup. He's fit everything together, some wing defense. He's given you some great shooting. He's just amazing. He's been amazing for this team, and I think they love having him there. Bruce Brown's also been terrific. Saying everything I just said too. Bruce Brown's, those guys have been in there. They're like, we need defenders. These are our best 2 perimeter defenders. Let's get them in there. And I think they're doing great. Obviously, we both like to see a little more defense in there, but those 2 guys it's not their fault. They're doing it. Another guy that's doing great, the last guy I want to talk about on this Nuggets team is Bones Highland. I mean, he's been awful on defense, but he's been the best 6 man that they need. I mean, he's only averaging like 13 points per game, but I mean, he's coming out. He's running the offense. I mean, this guy's they give him the keys, and he can do it. It's a young guy. It's great to see.
Yeah, he's not afraid to shoot. He really loves finding his spot. He's a really solid mid-range shooter, and can shoot it from 3 as well. Still a young guy. I think it's only his 2nd year in the league, and for a guy that's drafted as low as he was, for him to be in this position, it's really just a testament to his hard work. And also, obviously, the Nuggets have done a great job scouting over the years, always finding these diamonds in the rough.
Yeah.
So, just another example of that.
Yeah, I mean they drafted Jokic, who's a second round pick. MPJ was like a 17th pick. Bones Highland was also a 20, somewhere in the 20s. I mean Jamal was a high pick. But they drafted Bol Bol. They just didn't have the timeline for Bol Bol, but they drafted him. And Bones was obviously a great drafting.
Yeah,
They've
they
been
drafted
great.
Malik Beasley too.
Malik Beasley.
Yeah,
He
Those
turned
guys
out,
over
but
the years.
they drafted Jared Vanderbilt, didn't they? Didn't they? draft him?
Yeah, I think they did. Yep,
Yeah,
another guy.
great stuff. Kind of crazy that those two guys just were given away, basically. But so their defense, when it comes to the playoffs, when you see teams this low on defense, aka like the Nets, they get shown, they get bullied. It affects them greatly. Do I think it'll hold up in the playoffs? I think it will, because a huge part of that is their sixth in rebounding. I think that's gonna take away a lot of what what other teams are trying to do on defense, and it's gonna be great for them. I think if they can even get their defense just to like 15 to 17 range, they're a shoo-in for the finals, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about shoo-in, but honestly, there's really not a lot of competition in the West. I don't feel that strong about the Grizzlies going up against them. I think it would be a great series, but I take the Nuggets personally. I take the Nuggets over the Suns. I'd probably take them over any team in the West. So, yeah, they should be the favorite right now, regardless of how bad they are on defense. It's kind of an anomaly to see a team like this be that good, but we've seen it before. It just isn't going to work out in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe up until the finals.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely going to be an interesting Western playoffs. So where we've pretty much known who was going to go where. It's very interesting. And so
there's
it's
still time
cool
though.
to
I
see.
mean, it's only early January. Like there's still
Half
tons
the
of time
season.
for teams to work things out here.
Definitely half the season. But where do you think they'll finish? Do you think they're going to be in the first round exit, second round, final, conference finals? You let us know in the comments below, and we will be very happy. Let's play a game. All right. So this game, I got it from I watch a podcast about movies and stuff, and they do it with movies, but I thought maybe we could do it with basketball players. So we're going to say the player has to at least played for 3 teams. We're going to say the 3 teams, and you have to guess the player that we're talking about. Is it possible that there's multiple players? Yeah, probably, but most likely we're going to think of the popular players. If we say a matchup and we don't say a player, you comment that below. Say, hey, you guys were fucking wrong. This guy, you're like, yes, what's his Javon Carter definitely played for all those teams. And we're like, oh, maybe, I guess that did. But
There's a possibility there's going to be some overlap for
sure.
sure.
I'll start off with a semi-easy one just so we can get in there. So you got the Pacers, Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Sacramento Kings.
Pacers, Thunder, Kings. That is Domantas Sabonis.
Domantas Sabonis. Ding, correct. All right. See, that's
Hey,
the
I
perfect
got it.
example. You got it.
Now, I have one for you. It is, I'll give you a hint. It's a former player. I messed up on that one for this one, so I'll give you the hint there. But Nets, Bucks, and Warriors are his teams.
Nets, Bucks, and Warriors.
Those are 3 of his teams.
It's not Monta Ellis, is it?
Nope.
Bucks, Nets, former player.
Yep, it's a former player. Not super long ago, though.
Joe Johnson?
No. I'll give you a hint for this last one. He is in media.
In media. Oh, Richard Jefferson.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
It's Richard Jefferson.
That guy. Okay. That was a good one. All right. I actually have 4. So the second one. Lakers, Bucks, Nets. Lakers, Bucks, Nets.
God. The fuck? Lakers, Bucks, Nets. So he's on the No, I got three guesses. I can do this. I can do this.
You can do this.
Man. Oh man, Joe Harris.
No.
No, he's always been on the Nets. What am I talking about?
Yeah, he's just been Nets and Bucks.
Oh shit. He's currently on the Nets.
I can't tell you the current
Are
team.
these out of? Oh, these might be out.
They're all out of order. Yeah.
Crap. Okay, I was hyper focused on the Nets. I don't know why.
Just had to-
Freaking guy on the bench. I think it is.
I'll give you a hint after 2 guesses.
Oh, yeah. I'm so flustered over here. Javon Carter.
No, I actually just had to check if he was because I know he was on 2 of them.
yeah.
He's a current starting player. He starts on a team.
Okay. Current start.
And one of the teams I mentioned is his current team.
Yeah.
But for the record, for this game, you don't actually have to put the current team in there. You could, if they have 4 teams, you could just do the other 3 teams, not their current team. Get tricky for future reference. We'll get good at this.
Man, I ain't gonna get good. Let's see. I do like this game.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is a lot harder than I thought it was.
Lakers, Bucks, Nets, starter. You're gonna get so mad when I tell you. I gotta give you a time limit.
Oh man, you're right.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Thomas Bryant. Nah.
Thomas Bryant, no. Yeah, he was on the Wizards. Brooke Lopez.
Oh, Brooke Lopez. He was on the Lakers.
Yeah, he was what they traded. It was a big trade. Who was that trade? D'Lo. That was the D'Lo trade. D'Lo went to the Nets. He went to the Lakers.
No, D'Lo got traded for KD.
No, that was from Nets to Warriors. I'm talking from Lakers to Nets.
From Lakers to Nets.
D'Lo was a Laker, and he became a Net because they traded him Brooke Lopez. They traded Brooke Lopez to the
I guess I forgot about that.
Lakers.
Brooke
Yeah,
Lopez. Okay.
it's 2017. I'm pretty sure 27. Yeah, it was a while ago. 2018. But
Hold on that one.
yeah,
All right, so I got one for you. Spurs, Pacers, Bulls.
Spurs, Pacers, Bulls. Spurs, Pacers, Bulls. This is a current player.
Yes.
McDermott.
Yes.
Damn. That was a good one. It was a really good one.
Clearly not.
I was just thinking, I'm like, who the fuck is on the Spurs? I'm like, McDermott. I'm like, and then like I started watching when he was a Pacer. So yeah, all right, that was a good one. I thought it was a good one. All right, I got here's another one. The Celtics, the Magic, and the Nuggets. Celtics. Okay, he is a guy that did that. Yeah, that's not the guy I'm thinking of, though. He did do that.
Bastard.
You bastard. I'll give you the win, but let's see if you can guess it. Guess the other guy. Jeff Green. He's a journeyman. That doesn't count. No.
Damn, you got me there.
Damn. That would have been a good one. That was a good one.
All right, so it was Nuggets, Bucks.
Nuggets. No, Nuggets, Celtics, Magic. Nuggets, Celtics,
Nuggets,
Magic. None of these are his current team. Fred, shut up.
The interesting comment. Bull. No, he's currently. I get another here. Not
I think-
currently on any of these teams.
I think Bull actually was like on the Celtics for like half a season, just didn't play. Let me look. I was like, you're gonna do this twice to me? How many teams have played for these 3 teams?
How about that's an interesting combination of players.
I don't think Evan Fournier,
Evan Fournier. He played for the Nuggets?
drafted by the Nuggets, traded halfway through the season to the Magic.
Really? Oh, no.
Yeah,
That is
that,
some super shit.
that was a tricky one. That would have been tough.
Bastard.
Bastard. And yeah, because if I said Knicks, Magic, Celtics, you probably would have got it.
Yeah, you're just trying to play me over here.
Yeah.
I got one more for you. I think you might get it right away. But it's Bulls, Suns, Thunder.
Bulls, Suns, Thunder. Cameron Payne.
Yeah. Too easy. Just football.
I was just thinking, I was like, oh yeah, Cam played on one of those. That was a good one. I didn't think the McDermott one was really good. I just happen I have this weird thing where I just know about McDermott. But
I thought that was gonna be he was gonna be a deep enough player you wouldn't think of him. But
yeah. All right, last guy. This one's a little easier. 76ers, Cavaliers, Pistons.
Tobias Harris.
No, he didn't play for the Cavs. It's a good guess though.
This is a tough one. 76ers, Cavaliers, Pistons. Man. His current player, obviously.
Current player.
He's okay. He might not be on one of these teams, I suppose.
I'll give you a hint. After 2 guesses, I'll give you a hint. You can either ask for something directly, or I can just give you a hint if you don't know something direct.
Let's see. Okay.
Dependent upon, like, it has to be a pretty vague ask, like current team.
Yeah.
Or position. I'd take position, but that's almost way too easy.
Yeah. Cavaliers, Pistons, 76ers. How about it doesn't make any sense.
You must be forgetting he played on one of these teams. It's pretty forgettable. It is a he.
How about fucking got no freaking clue. I got no clue. That's the
All right.
problem. I don't even have a name.
Just shout out a name. We'll use it for yourself.
Luke Kennard.
No.
Obviously not. No.
What do you want for the hint? You want
Tell me what team he's currently on.
76ers.
Oh, really? God damn. Doesn't help me. I don't fucking know. 76ers role players. It must be Andre Drummond.
It is
Oh,
Andre Drummond, because remember he played for
about
Cavs
Andre
with.
Drummond.
Yep, he was on the Cavs, and then he was obviously Pistons is where he made an All-Star team.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Andre Drummond. He's currently on the Sixers, huh?
Yep, currently on the
No,
Sixers.
he's on the Bulls, actually. So
Now he's on the Bulls. Yeah, I did lie. That was my bad.
You were
I forgot he was on the Bulls. What?
we made it through that game. I struggled my hardest, but made it through nonetheless.
Hey, I mean, you got two out of 4 of them, and you thought of 2 other ones for because Bull technically was on the Celtics, just never played for them, just traded back. So you had 3 right answers. 3 out of 4. Well, four right answers. Just not 2 on the same one.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Well, that's been our episode. If you guys got a game, you guys got topics for us, you want to tell us, we want to hear it. We'll probably put them on the show. I mean, we don't have that many suggestions, so whatever you want to do it.
Yeah, baby. We are strictly ball business. That was a great episode today. Really appreciate our sponsors. Fucking nobody. Thank you.
Unsullied by sponsorship.
Solely carrying our backs. But we will see you next time for episode 65. I'm sure we're going to have plenty to talk about. The first ballot of the All-Star voting actually came out. I don't know if you got a chance to look at that.
Yeah, I looked at it.
Bandwagoners are out.
Yep, they're like, foolish of us for saying this is the first year LeBron won't be an All-Star starter.
Yeah.
Foolish of us.
Literally number 1 in votes.
Yeah,
Davis, number 3.
What did we think? Winning is an answer? No, doesn't matter. Winning doesn't matter to these people. This is just literally people like, oh, LeBron James still playing.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Curry only got.
Lakers?
Yeah, I'm surprised Curry got less than Giannis and Durant, and I'm surprised how
I
far
think the
back
injury
Giannis
what it
is for
takes.
Durant. Yeah,
I think if he wasn't injured, he'd be getting
more than LeBron.
just as many votes, yeah, if not more. But since he's injured, that takes a certain amount of population that's just going to be like, well, he's injured, so I'm not going to vote.
He'll be a starting guard, but I wonder. Well, that's nice to know that West gets an extra All-Star. I wonder who will he even be back by then? Probably.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you would think he would be, but he's probably going to be coming back just in time for then. It's not like he's going to be.
Yeah, he probably
playing in
won't
the
play
game if that's the case. So don't really see it happening.
Plus, he's done everything right. He's All-Star MVP. He's got that. He got that last year, right?
Yeah. I mean,
he
got that last year. He's played plenty of them. If he could get the nomination and then just be injured, like that's best case scenario for him.
Yeah, most likely. He's gonna get a nomination. He'll be an All-Star. He's just gonna be injured. Like there's no.
He'll at least make it, and people don't remember long term who started each and every game. They see like how many All-Stars you had. They also remember the moments of the games you had to a certain degree.
Yep.
And you fizzle away with the rest of the time.
The only person that's going to talk about Andrew Wiggins being an All-Star starter is Andrew Wiggins. So
yeah, the only other people that will remember it is just like the absurdity of it, of K-pop fans like making him win it. Just like that shit happens again, I'm gonna have an aneurysm.
Yeah, I'm gonna be pretty upset when both AD and LeBron are starting, and I'm gonna be like,
yeah. Well, Anthony Davis won't be playing, but yeah, he might get voted in regardless, even though he's injured just like Curry. But Austin Reeves is top 10 in voting for guards, bro. He's like number 9, I think.
There's always one. Whether it's Alex Caruso or who's the other goat, Taco Fall or Taco Fall. Somebody's gonna get voted. It's whatever.
Yeah, or there was somebody else. I feel like that was weird. Zaza Pachulia one year.
Zaza.
And they were like, hold on, we're bringing the hammer down on this one.
Like, we're changing the rules. I think after this year, they're like, all right, we got to give the fans less power. This was a dumb idea. Like,
I can hope so. I mean, each year, dude, they need to fix it.
It's insane. But that was our episode. We're going to talk about stuff. We already gave our All-Star predictions. You can look at that on our channel. It's been Strictly Ball Business. Thanks for tuning in.
What was that? Thanks for watching. Shit. I didn't know that.